This is from the Petty Corner. I'm Petty Diana, and today I have season 3, Brice Just Hand Jones here with me. Welcome to the Petty Corner. Sorry, Brice. I was about to call you Jones.
It's all right. Good to
Okay,
be here.
so you have a match at Power Slap 13, and this is your first live show from the TV since you've been on the TV show. How are you feeling going into this?
I feel pretty good. Um, other than there being a crowd, I think it's going to kind of feel about the same. And honestly, I think having the crowd's going to kind of make it a little easier. It was kind of weird walking in there and there's no one in there really, and so I think just having a crowd might actually kind of help me in a way. You know, just having that kind of energy and being like, I don't want to get knocked out in front of all these people, so let's let's be a little bit more aware, what's going on.
Yeah. Well, you were 2-0 on the show. And I believe you were the only heavyweight that hasn't been called back up until this point. And there was like talk from the fans and from, other athletes about you not being booked and stuff. So do you feel like you have more to prove coming into this, or you're not letting that like any pressure, weigh on you?
I mean, you know, 100%. I kind of feel like, obviously there's something I need to kind of prove to Erica and Frank and in like my performance. Not that I had like bad performances, but maybe I just didn't show enough up there. So I kind of feel that little bit of pressure of it, but at the same time, like I kind of feel how I did with the other ones. I know what I can do, so I'm just gonna walk up there and do exactly that. You know.
I love it. Do you have like a fear of like ring rust? They say when boxers or MMA athletes have been out for too long, they kind of get like a little ring rust. Do you have any concerns about that since it's been so long?
I wish it wasn't like this long. I wish it would have been, a little bit quicker. But at the same time, it's giving me a lot of time to like work on a lot of like techniques and a lot of different things. So at the same time, I feel even better, walking in like this far out than walking in like super early. So it honestly doesn't, I don't feel like I'm going to have any kind of like ring rust feeling. I think it's just going to be more like, the anticipation of, you know, just getting up there, is it's felt like it's been, even though it's been a year, but it's felt like it's been even longer because I've just been like waiting. So it's, it's definitely a long overdue kind of like moment for me.
Well, I love it. I'm excited to see you back on the stage. You were a part of I don't remember if it was the May or April training camp. You weren't there as an athlete, but you were there, helping the coaches and stuff. So does that give you like a little bit more ease because had like a little bit more involvement and you got to practice a little more and like with some of the greatest in the sport?
Yeah, that was kind of a cool deal because, like not getting brought up, all the way up to this point. It's like I did the show and I, you know, feel like that was it. Like that was that was all I was gonna do. So like not getting a call back and all that, and then I heard about the camp and I asked Erica like, could I just come in and like just help out. And she was kind enough to be like, yeah, come in and you know let me like learn for myself because I try to pick up from the champs that were in there, and then also just helping and getting like a lot of the stuff that I have in my head, out, and then watching other people like execute it, and being like, okay, obviously what I'm doing is kind of working, so just keep that kind of faith that this whole process is going to work, that I'll get the call, and so yeah, it was nice being a part of that camp for sure. Like it made me feel like, okay, I'm kind of a part of Power Slap, and start having that in your mind, because you know after not getting the call after a couple of events, I kind of just felt like, you know I'm not really a part of it anymore, and I started kind of like getting in my head about it, you know. Luckily, I have friends like Pono. Pono is just like, man, don't have that thought. They're gonna call you. Don't worry. So yeah, it was definitely a fun experience, and it definitely pushed my drive a little further. Instead of kind of giving up.
Yeah. I love it. I'm glad you got to experience that too. I'm not an athlete, so I will never understand what you guys go through. Like, I'm not a power slap athlete. Um, but there may be times where you're sitting longer and there may be times where you're getting booked more. So, but I'm just glad that you got that opportunity and it can help you progress and that we finally get to see you on a live stage. But how do you feel about Zakir being your opponent?
Um, I mean, they got to give me someone, so I guess it's a good one to give me because I mean, it's pretty obvious Power Slap's trying to hype him up and trying to give him a pretty big platform. So I look at it as even though he's only had one match and they ranked him at 6, and his performance, I mean, realistically, he could have and maybe should have just been DQ'd from the strike that he threw, but you know that is what it is, and I'm not really that concerned about that part. Um, but I just see it as it gives me a huge opportunity to walk out there and basically just take all that hype off of him. All that they're giving him, I can just walk out there and just take it off of him, and that's kind of what I like about this whole sport is, you know, it's just right there in the palm of your hand. You can just take it off of somebody. So
Well,
I'm
literally the
I'm
palm
definitely
because you
looking forward
slap.
to it. Yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to going out there.
Yeah,
But
and this gives you the potential to become a ranked heavyweight.
yeah, yeah, that's definitely the really exciting part. Is hopefully they'll rank me pretty good. You know, um, which I'm hoping I take that number 6 spot from him. I think I'll be 3-0 if I beat him. So I mean, I think I kind of deserve to kind of be thrown up into the rankings. Unlike last time, I got ranked at like 10, and James and Pono, they both got ranked above me, and they were both 1-1. Coming off the show. So and then West had his match, and they just threw me out of the top 10 without West having to fight me. So hopefully I get a good spot in the rankings, and you know, and it puts me in a good position to start moving forward and get more opportunity. So I'm definitely looking forward to that part.
Yeah. So I know you've said that you and Pono are really good friends, and you guys are both under the same management company. Have you guys ever talked about what it would look like if you guys had to face each other one day?
Uh, yeah, we've talked about it at different junctures. Like we talked about it in the house when we were in there because opponents were falling out, and you know, we had to look at each other and be like, "Hey, we might end up having to fight each other on this show," you know. Which I think if it was going to happen during the show would have been the only time it's going to happen. I think because at this point, like we've kind of grown too much of like a brothership, and you know, and I know a lot of guys they'll say like, well, I mean, I'll go up there and battle out with my brother and this and that, but the thing is like I'm walking up there with such bad intentions. I can't walk up there and have that mindset you know, against him. I just don't think
Mhm.
I could bring that kind of mindset to him, and I don't think he could do it to me either. So it would just be a terrible match and not worth booking. So I don't think it'll ever, transpire. And you know, and I think we're both good on it. If it gets asked, I got asked that question
Yeah.
before, and I was like, if it was all the way down to a dire situation where, like, hey, I'm about to be homeless, like, in 30 days, but they could give me this fight against Pono, and I could change that. I was like, I'll be homeless next month. I'm not. I'll deal with it.
Really? Well, what if it was for a title though?
Um, yeah, even for a title, I mean, as my friend, I mean, if he came to me and like laid it out, like, hey, I really need to take this opportunity, I would consider it, but I still don't think it would be like a good match because I just don't think, mindset wise, I don't think I could go up there with like that kind of intention to like hurt him like that. So I just don't ever see it being like a match that's ever going to really take place. So even for a title, it'd probably still be a no. You know,
Yeah.
if one of us gets it, if the other one's coming up, maybe one of us just has to step away for a minute and let the other one do work for a little bit. You know,
Hey, I
which
always
I
say never, so we'll see what happens.
I'm cool with getting all the way to the belt and just starting back at number 10 and just running through them all. So you know.
Uh, when you guys were on the show, you guys didn't have a walkout song, right?
No, it was silence. They put in the music afterwards. So
Okay. Well, do you have a walkout song picked out for this fight?
not quite yet. Um, I did have a. He was my neighbor. He actually made me like a custom walkout song, which I thought was kind of dope. So I may end up trying to do that, or I may just pick something else. But um, I don't know. I want something that's gonna kind of fit like how I'm feeling when I'm walking out there, like because as much as I'm grateful for this opportunity, it's like sitting around definitely like pissed me off and fired me up. So I kind of want to walk out there with that same feeling of like we got to go out there and make it a quick night, knock this guy out. So I just
Yeah. Do you guys have a certain time before the fight that you have to have the walk? Like, I guess you do have to have it, but what's the time frame before the fight that you have to turn in your walking song? Can you do it like the day of or the day before?
I'm not sure because I'm not sure how like certain that stuff even works.
Hmm.
I've never really asked any of the other guys. But it always seems like it's during that week, of like when everyone comes into town.
Hmm.
So I think during like that week they figure out what you're gonna walk out to and
Yeah.
kind of go from there.
Do you have like family and friends coming to support you?
Yeah, my girlfriend will be there. One of my friends that been helping me, Matt White. He's from Extreme Couture. He's been helping me since the beginning. Um, he'll be there. I think I have a few friends from work that got some tickets, so be a few people in there that are from town and there to support me. So
I love it. And what are your final thoughts going into this fight?
my final thoughts is I'm gonna go up there and make it look easy and crack this guy with the hardest shot anyone's ever seen. I think so. Um, I'm hoping to put him down in the first round. So.
I love it. I can't wait to see what happens. I'll be there watching it live. I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your time, Brice. I'm excited for you and this opportunity, and I can't wait to see what happens.
All right, thank you. I appreciate you, and this is our first time doing this one. So hey,
Yes.
hopefully after the win we'll come back and talk about
Yes. I love it. And we'll talk to you soon.
it. Alrighty.